let's bring in now the President of the United States, President Donald Trump. Mr. President, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you.
Mr. President, they said on a conference call yesterday, you said over the last 3 weeks you have a different feel for the campaign. You really feel like you're going to win now. What changed?
Well, a lot of things. It's just going very well. I think he's imploding. You look at all the corruption in his family. It's tremendous corruption nobody's ever seen. I mean, that laptop, nobody has ever seen anything like that. He's gone into hiding. He's done the lid again. He's in there for a long time, and things are changing fast, and the numbers at the polls are looking really good, really, really good.
Mr. President, you bring up Hunter Biden's laptop. Many on the left and many in the mainstream media are suggesting this is nothing but a Russian disinformation campaign. What do you say to that?
It's just crazy. I saw Shifty Schiff yesterday get up, say this is Russia. I mean, he's a sick man. He is so sick. It is. We went through 2.5 years of that plus. And this guy, he ought to be put away, or he ought to be, something should happen with him. I watched him look straight at the camera and say it, and he laughs at it. They laugh in the back rooms at it. And thank goodness we have John Ratcliffe that came out, the head of DNI. He said it's absolutely false. It's nothing to do with Russia, and it never did have to do. This was like with Tulsi Gabbard and Jill Stein when Hillary Clinton said about them. This is after the Russian hoax on me, that they were agents of Russia. And you know what? I don't know either of them. They were not agents of Russia. They never spoke to anybody from Russia. It was the same thing. Adam Schiff ought to be investigated for what he does. He stood up, he looked at the camera, and he said the laptop conceived and dedicated by Russia. This is crazy.
Well, this is a part of the interview that probably will not be played on other networks because they're not really covering this. But what if the names were changed? What if it were your name instead of Joe Biden's involved in this, or one of your son's names instead of Hunter Biden? Would this be the top story on every single network?
Well, it would be. And they went through and put my son in particular over a 15-minute meeting with somebody from Russia who met with everybody in Congress over the years. Everybody knew that it was a meeting about something totally different, and Don Jr. went, and it's so unfair. What they have done is what they've done to this country, and we're really hitting them back. I mean, we're hitting them back so hard. And I'll tell you, I watched your interview with Dave Rubin. That's true. That's happening all over. It's so nice. That's happening all over the country. I mean, people are in love. And what you said about Texas, don't worry about Texas. Texas is with us. They want to take away your guns, your oil, and your God. Okay, that's what they want. They want to take away your Second Amendment. They want to take away fracking and oil. They don't care. They want to take it away. They want to go to the Green New Deal. That's not for Texas. Texas is not going to be losing their guns, and they're not going to be losing their oil, and they're not going to be losing their religion or their God.
Mr. President, so your next chance to bring this up directly with Joe Biden will be at the debate on Thursday night. And among the categories is national security. That would be your option to bring this up. Now, people in the past, presidents in the past have had siblings or relatives that are problematic. Roger Clinton had his issues. I remember Billy Carter with Jimmy Carter's his issues. But I think this issue, what makes it relevant, is what Joe Biden had to do with this. What question do you have for Joe Biden in the debate? So people don't think it's a family issue. It's more about the vice presidential issue, some would say. How do you plan on parrying that issue?
Well, this is far bigger than Jimmy Carter. I mean, this is an issue that's, I mean, his son walked around like a vacuum cleaner. But they say right in, look, this is the laptop from hell. They say right in the laptop that, the big man has to get 10%. And then in another case, they say 50%. This is 100%. This is, and even if he didn't get, and he does get, and he lives like a king, even if he didn't get all of this money, and everybody's known this in Washington for a long time. This isn't surprising. Nobody's surprised by this. But even if he didn't, you can't go to China and have the son walk out with $1.5 billion to manage. You can't go to Ukraine and have him get $183,000 a month with a $3 million upfront payment. You can't get $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife, $3.5 million, and you have no experience. You didn't have a job until your father became vice president. It's disgraceful.
What if he says, I don't know anything about this?
And the media can't cover it. The media refuses to cover it.
Mr. President, what if he just says, I don't know anything about that? That's my son's thing. I don't know anything about it. I hear Romania is coming up, too. So what if he says that's his thing? You know, he's a grown adult.
No, Romania is coming up. But they say right in there that the father's going to get 10%. Brian, you don't have to know anything about it. And to be honest with you, even if it wasn't, you can't go with your father, and every stop you make, you pick up $1 billion. You can't do that. You can't do it. But he got a kickback. You know, in the old days, they used to call it a kickback. But there's no better word. The vice president got a kickback, and everybody knows it, and they've known it for a long time.
Mr. President, Brian brings up the debates and how you'll address this in the debates. We want to talk about some of the changes to the debate format in just a moment, but one more on this Hunter Biden issue. We've addressed it. The mainstream media and many on the left are calling this a Russian disinformation campaign. You addressed that. Many of the facts now, though, are being confirmed and authorized, and some are asking, will you appoint a special prosecutor to investigate this? In fact, 11 House Republicans have sent a letter. They said the following: we request that the Department of Justice immediately appoint an independent, unbiased special counsel to investigate these issues that have been raised, as well as any corresponding legal or ethical issues that might be uncovered from the former vice president's 47 years in public office. Will you be doing that? Will you be appointing a special prosecutor?
We've got to get the Attorney General to act. He's got to act, and he's got to act fast. He's got to appoint somebody. This is major corruption, and this has to be known about before the election. And by the way, we're doing very well. We're going to win the election. We're doing very well. If you look at all of what's happening and all of the people that come in and don't come in, you take a look all around the country. And with Texas early voting, those are our votes, too. And we're doing well in Texas. I mean, I just got a report. We're doing great in Texas, but we're doing great all over. But forget that. This has to be done early. So the Attorney General has to act.